Hello, hello. Welcome to another mini lecture on the anatomy of the spinal cord. Last time we met, we had seen ventral and dorsal rootlets coming out of the cord. Dorsal rootlets forming a dorsal root, ventral rootlets forming a ventral root. Dorsal was sensory, ventral was motor. We had a swelling called the dorsal root ganglion, and those two roots are joining to make a spinal nerve. The spinal nerve quickly branches, giving us a dorsal ramus going to our posterior trunk, as well as a ventral ramus going to our anterior trunk, as well as our rims. Our rims, not our rims, our limbs. Man, I've done too many of these in one day. Can't really talk. However, let's keep going. The ventral ramus quickly gives off a pair of branches called the rami communicantes. This translates to communicating branches. These guys are going to carry autonomic nerve fibers. So we're going to have autonomic nerve fibers. So autonomic, think about connecting to cardiac muscle, smooth muscle, and glands. Okay, time to keep on working. No stopping, right? Right. All right, our ventral rami are going to do something. All of our ventral rami. So with the exceptions of ventral rami T2 to T12. So C1 through C8, T1, L1 to L4, S1 to S4, ventral rami are all going to do something. Remember, ventral rami are the anterior branches of the spinal nerves, and what they're going to do is they're going to interconnect to form these nets, these networks, interlaced bundles of nerve fibers called nerve plexuses. And there are going to be four major plexuses. And these four major plexuses, for the most part, are going to serve the limbs. Cervical plexus is one. Brachial plexus is another. Lumbar plexus is the third. Sacral plexus is the fourth. So we're going to look at all of these plexuses as well as some of the major nerves that emanate from them. Okay, C1 to C4 gets you out the door. C1 to C4 gets you out the door. It gets you started. C1 to C4 is going to be where I'm going to make my cervical plexus. Look at this mess right here. This mess is the cervical plexus. So coming off ventral rami on each side, the ventral rami on each side from C1 to C4 are going to form this bundle, interconnected bundle called the cervical plexus. Then a bunch of nerves emanate from this. We are not going to learn all these nerves. We're going to learn one of these nerves. It is called the phrenic nerve. The phrenic nerve is going to innervate this important skeletal muscle right here, which of course is the diaphragm. How's that for some beautiful cursive right there? Diaphragm, of course, is your major muscle of inspiration, of inhalation. The other nerves mostly are cutaneous nerves, dealing with sensation from the skin. Okay, that's our cervical plexus. Let's keep going. Let's talk brachial plexus. So, C1 to C4 got us out the door. C5 to T1. Remember, you got to remember we have that break from T2 to T12. Break from the T, from T2 to T12, T2 to T12. T2 to T12 are going to have the break. So C5 to T1 must be the brachial plexus. Brachial plexus is basically going to supply the upper limb. The word brachial means arm, which gives that away. There are going to be 5 nerves we have to be aware of. The axillary nerve, the musculocutaneous nerve, the radial nerve, the median nerve, and the ulnar nerve. We're going to go over those 5 nerves right now. Before we do that, if you want to feel your own brachial plexus, you can play along and do this at home. Turn your head to one side and then find that big neck muscle you got. That big neck muscle is called the sternocleidomastoid. And if you then kind of rub your fingers back and forth right here, you should feel some strings. Those strings are the nerve fibers of your brachial plexus. Okay, let's talk nerves. First nerve of the brachial plexus we're going to do is the axillary nerve. We know the word axillary means armpit. So armpit is basically right under our shoulder region. So we're going to have sensory info from the shoulder region and motor commands to the major shoulder muscle, which is the deltoid muscle. We see this guy's giant deltoid muscle right there. All right, that's nerve number 1. Nerve number 2, the median nerve. Check out how it runs. Basically right down the middle, hence the name median. So it is going to get sensory info from the lateral palm. If you were to karate chop your desk right now, you can hear me karate chopping my desk. Actually, I'm kind of like underhanding karate chopping it. Underhand karate chopping it. Maybe that's not quite the same motion. All right, forget that analogy. Yeah. If you are, I don't have a good analogy. Think about holding your palm and the part of your palm where your index finger is. I mean, that's your lateral palm. I should have said that in the beginning. I should go back and record that minute. Can't do that though. So lateral palm, sensory, and muscle-wise, it's going to do most wrist flexors. So remember, bend your wrist in like a come here motion. That's wrist flexion. The forearm muscles that do that. That's your median nerve. Also, a lot of your thumb muscles are median nerve. Give somebody the thumbs up. Give them the thumbs up right now. If there's someone near you, give them the thumbs up. If they ask you how studying is going, say you're working on the median nerve and give them the thumbs up. Okay? And that's the motor part of it. All right, next nerve. The musculocutaneous nerve. Okay, this one, the name is kind of generic, yet kind of helpful. Musculocutaneous, muscle and skin. All right, it's going to give you sensory info from your lateral forearm. All right, so find your lateral forearm by walking on your arm from your thumb. Kind of walk down your thumb. I really should have a webcam, but I don't. And you find your lateral forearm. If you keep going up that lateral forearm, same direction on your arm, you're going to hit your biceps brachii muscle. Your biceps brachii muscle, if you ask a kid to make a muscle or show you a muscle, that is the one they do. So the muscle in this case is like the most basic muscle, the one that we learned before any other probably, which is the biceps. And we know it better as the biceps brachii now. And we see this guy, he's got a fairly decent biceps brachii muscle right there. Now, under the biceps brachii, there is a neighbor to it. So there's the biceps brachii right there. His neighbor is the brachialis. It is also going to be under the command of the musculocutaneous nerve. Okay, let's see if we can fit one more nerve in this lecture. Actually, you know what? We're going to save this one for next time. The next miniature lecture will include the radial nerve and the ulnar nerve, and hopefully we'll get some other stuff done as well. See you guys later. Adios.